Hello everyone and welcome to Explore Engineering. Have you ever wondered, who am I? What is the purpose of life? What is the ultimate truth? These timeless questions were explored thousands of years ago in the Upanishads, the philosophical heart of Indian literature. In today's video, we'll discover how the Upanishads guide us from rituals to wisdom, from ignorance to knowledge, and from the individual self to the universal truth. Let's begin this inspiring journey into one of the greatest treasures of Indian philosophy. Now here you can see the overview of Indian literature, which is the oldest and most diverse literary traditions in the world. It highlights this image highlights that the Indian literature has evolved over thousands of years and reflects the culture, philosophy, religion, then science, history, and values of Indian civilization. Now here you can see the ancient manuscripts on the palm leaf. Then that is a palm leaf text and scholars which symbolize how knowledge was first preserved through the oral traditions and later recorded in written form. So you can see the major branches of Indian literature. It shows that Indian literary heritage is broadly divided into Vedic literature, then Upanishads, epics, Puranas, classical Sanskrit literature, regional literature. So each branch represents a unique contribution to India's intellectual, spiritual, and cultural development. Here you can see the Vedic literature forms the foundation of Indian knowledge through the four Vedas. Upanishads focus on the philosophical ideas such as the nature of reality, the self, that is the Atma, Brahmana, and liberation, that is the Moksha. And the epics, which includes the Ramayana and Mahabharata, teaches us the moral values, duty, and the righteousness. And the Puranas preserve the historical narratives, religious teachings, and cultural traditions through inspiring stories. The classical Sanskrit literature represents the remarkable works of great scholars and the poets that enriched the poetry, drama, and aesthetics. And finally, the regional literature reflects India's linguistic diversity through works written in various Indian languages, preserving the local traditions and the cultural identity. So we can say that Indian literature is a priceless treasure of knowledge that has preserved India's cultural, philosophical, religious, and scientific heritage for thousands of years. And its rich literary traditions continue to educate, inspire, and influence people across India and the world. Now comes the Upanishads, which is a philosophical text that form the concluding part of the Vedas and are therefore known as the Vedanta. Okay, that is, the meaning is the end of the Vedas. And here Upanishads shifts the focus from the external rituals to the spiritual knowledge, self-realization, that is the self-inquiry, and the search for the ultimate truth. You can see here an ancient sage reading sacred scriptures symbolizes the transmission of the profound philosophical wisdom through generations. And here from this image, we can say that the Upanishads encourage self-inquiry and the understanding of one's true nature. So the meditating figure here, it represents meditating figure, it represents the self-inquiry, inner reflection, meditation, and the realization of the Atma, that is the self, and the Brahman, ultimate reality. Then these icons, you have the icons for the philosophical teachings, spiritual knowledge, self-inquiry, and the search for truth, which illustrate the core teachings of the Upanishads. And here the stack of the four Vedas, okay, here beside you have a open manuscript here. These stack of four Vedas, it signifies that the Upanishads are the final and the philosophical portion of the Vedic literature, and the Upanishads are the timeless source of wisdom which inspires individuals to seek truth, gain spiritual knowledge, understand the purpose of life, and attain self-realization and liberation, that is the moksha, through the knowledge rather than the rituals. Now comes the main teachings of the Upanishads. So here these form the philosophical foundation of the Indian thought and the spirituality. And the Upanishads guide individuals from the external rituals towards the self-realization, wisdom, and understanding of ultimate truth. And here you can see an ancient sage who is reading the Upanishads, which symbolizes the pursuit of the knowledge, meditation, and spiritual enlightenment. Here, the first section is the nature of the reality, which explains that there is one eternal and universal reality that is the source of all existence. And the cosmic illustration, this cosmic illustration, it represents the vast universe and reminds us that everything in creation is connected through a single supreme reality. And the Upanishads encourage people to understand the true nature of the universe through the knowledge and the contemplation. Second is the self, that is the Atma. It teaches that the Atma or the inner self is eternal, pure, and beyond birth and death. The meditating figure here shows it is shown with a glowing heart, which symbolizes the self-awareness and the realization that the true self is immortal and independent of the physical body. The third section is the ultimate truth, that is the Brahman. Brahman is described as the supreme reality and the universal spirit that exists in all living beings. This image, it emphasizes the famous Upanishadic teaching that Atma and Brahman are ultimately one, and it reveals the unity of all the existence. And this understanding encourages harmony, compassion, and spiritual awareness. The fourth section is the liberation, that is the moksha, which is represented by a person who is walking toward a radiant light. And moksha signifies the freedom from the cycle of the birth and the death, that is the rebirth. So according to Upanishads, liberation is achieved through self-knowledge, wisdom, meditation, and the realization of the true self rather than the rituals alone. So here you can see a concluding message which summarizes the essence of the Upanishads, that they guide the humanity from ignorance to knowledge, from the limited self to the ultimate truth. So Upanishads are a timeless philosophical texts that inspire individuals to seek inner wisdom, understand the unity of existence, and attain spiritual liberation through knowledge and self-realization. Then comes the significance of the Upanishads. So here it is in this image, it is highlighted the significance of the Upanishads, that is their profound contribution to Indian philosophy, then spirituality, and the human understanding. Here you can see a meditating figure with Atma, that is the the individual self. Then you have the Brahma, okay, that is the universal reality. And this symbolizes the core Upanishadic teaching that the individual soul and the supreme reality are ultimately one. And the ancient sage writing on palm leaf here, manuscripts represent the preservation and the transmission of this timeless wisdom through the generations. So here you can see that the Upanishads introduced the profound philosophical ideas about the life and the universe. They encouraged the people to question the nature of existence, understanding the reality, and seek the deeper purpose of life rather than focusing only on the external rituals. Then you can see the cosmic illustration, which represents the infinite universe and the search for ultimate truth. Second is that it emphasizes the knowledge, meditation, and self-realization as the path to spiritual growth. And the meditating figure here, it represents this meditating figure. It symbolizes the inner reflection and the practice of meditation through which individuals can understand their true nature and attain wisdom. The Upanishads teach that genuine knowledge comes through the self-discovery and contemplation. The third section here is that the Upanishads inspired many schools of Indian philosophy. Their teachings became the foundation for several philosophical traditions, influencing scholars, saints, and spiritual teachers for centuries. Now here you can see you have a tree and the books, which symbolizes the growth and expansion of philosophical knowledge rooted in the Upanishads. The fourth section is, it explains that the teachings of the Upanishads continue to influence the spirituality, ethics, and philosophical thought throughout the world. And their universal message of truth, compassion, self-discipline, and the inner peace remain relevant even today. And the globe represents the worldwide influence of these timeless teachings. So you have a concluding message here, which summarizes the essence of the Upanishads by describing them as the crown of the Vedic wisdom, guiding humanity from the finite to the infinite. So overall, this image portrays the Upanishads as timeless philosophical texts that inspire the self-realization, ethical living, spiritual growth, and the pursuit of the universal truth, making them one of the greatest intellectual and spiritual contributions of ancient India. So the Upanishads, these are not just an ancient philosophical text. They are the timeless guides for understanding ourselves, the universe, and the ultimate truth. The teachings of the Atma, Brahma, self-realization, meditation, and moksha continue to inspire millions of people across the world even today. In this video, I have pronounced the Brahma as Brahman. It is wrong pronunciation. The actual pronunciation is Brahma. Okay, Atma and Brahma. I hope this video has helped you appreciate the profound wisdom of the Upanishads and their lasting contribution to Indian literature and philosophy. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to Explore Engineering. And please don't forget to press the bell icon for more videos on Indian knowledge systems and engineering education. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep discovering the wisdom of our ancient heritage. Bye-bye.